have been warned. Warning: this podcast contains strong language and touches on a multitude of topics that might be considered inappropriate for work. If you choose to listen without headphones, we are not responsible for anything that happens to you as a result of your decision. You have been warned. Warning: this podcast contains strong language and touches on a multitude of topics that might be considered inappropriate for work. If you choose to listen without headphones, we are not responsible for anything that happens to you as a result of your decision. You have been warned. Please note that this podcast contains strong language and touches on a multitude of topics that may be considered inappropriate for work. If you choose to listen without headphones, we are not responsible for the results of your decision. You have been warned. Please note that this podcast contains strong language and touches on many topics that may not be considered appropriate for work. If you choose to listen without headphones, we are not responsible for the results of your decision. Warning: this podcast contains strong language and touches on a multitude of topics that might be considered inappropriate for work. If you choose to listen without headphones, we are not responsible for anything that happens to you as a result of your decision. You have been warned. Please note that this podcast contains strong language and may touch on topics that are not considered appropriate for a work environment. If you choose to listen without headphones, we are not responsible for the results of your decision. Please note that this podcast contains strong language and may touch on topics that are not considered appropriate for a work environment. If you choose to listen without headphones, we are not responsible for the consequences of your decision. Warning: please note that this podcast contains strong language and touches on many topics that may not be considered appropriate for a work environment. If you choose to listen to this podcast where you can be overheard, we are not responsible for the consequences of your decision. You've been warned.
Superhero swag back in the day. Hit my local comic shop, fair reads, fair play. Eye patch, black trench, got the stash on point. Ready to assemble, blow the roof off the joint. Oh, what's that? Avengers about to hit the deck? Oh heck, just call me Fury if you're ever curious about the crew so bad. We show the world from some heinous shit. World's greatest in this, like the brother of a god who put shame to side. Oh shit, I might be crossing the stream. That's cool, makes no difference. Marvel, DC, I know some people got that Batman disease. Vigilante justice acting mild mannered, see famous Utila belt sidekick bird theme. Parents spit it hard, he's letting off some steam. Good in the movies, best actor hate theme. Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Justice League. A little X-Men thrown up your sleeve. What would it be like if we could be? Come on, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Justice League. A little X-Men thrown up your sleeve. What would it be like if we could be? Man, it still was abandoned. Draw strength from the sun, Luther can't stand it. Got some diabolic plans, Red King won't have it. Seem the only way to stop him is a creature from his planet. Doesn't matter, in the end, he gets a rebirth. Come back again, get the girl, save planet Earth. Saying goes, great power has responsibility. And all that power in a man named Spidey Web. Slinging with the best of the best. Got a love of MJ, don't need a TSC test. Got some photos on team, pretty narcissistic. Takes photos of himself, publish in the Gazette. My bad, that's the bugle, let me write you a check. Times people part straight, publishing pics. God never really liked his suit. Red and blue, black and white, it's still cool. Send me out on his back.
Spoilers, people. It is time to start our 4th episode.
Yes, We are on official episode 4, and they all still suck, so if you've stuck with us this far, I promise we will start producing quality content someday. And this is our podcast about why everyone needs feminism. And what that means, how intersectionality benefits us all.
Before we go through and start everything up, we're going to have to go through and get rid of the business at hand.
Yes, we, of course, have a whole bunch of business. One, if you're a new subscriber to our Patreon, we love you. Thank you for your financial support. We are podcasts are the public radio of streaming media, and we need all the support we can get so we can keep making the podcast better. Buying things like subscriptions to high quality newspapers. Additionally, thank you so much for all of your likes and subscribes and rates and reviews. Those are super important for manipulating algorithms so that we get some notice, so that we have someday some sponsors to pay for shit for us instead of depending on the kindness of strangers. Where you can find us is we're on all of your major podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify. Are there others? I don't know. I don't hear anyone talk of others. iHeartRadio?
iHeartRadio, TuneIn.
Oh, I forgot about TuneIn. I only usually hear about the big three in my personal podcast listening, so that's where we're at with that. I may be a little tipsy, so there's going to be a lot more babble. I apologize. Bill's going to have a ton of extra work editing.
Well, the babble can just be used as extra bonus footage for Patreon.
Nobody's going to want to listen to me say the same 5 words over and over again, trust me.
Well,
Pretty sure there isn't angry feminist ASMR. If there is, please contact me through the show on our Facebook page, our Twitter. We have an email address. We have a website. Bill's going to tell you all about that in just a second. But if there is angry feminist ASMR, please let me know. I want to get in on that. Tell them where to reach us.
Facebook, where Noelle does most of her ranting, and I forward the stuff from Twitter. That's going to be at www.facebook.com/we all have an X-Chromosome. You'll be able to go through and find us there. Like, subscribe, review at the Facebook too, because that helps us with the Facebook algorithms and things of that nature. We are on Twitter. I mostly just go there to pull up more information of various news and reports and things of that nature, but I do occasionally will go through and comment on other things that are feminist equality worthy. So that is located on Twitter at X-Chromosome Pod. We are banned from Instagram. I'll fix that at some point, but it's stupidity, and Instagram does not like to email people when they say that they're banned.
I didn't even flash my tits. It's very disappointing. I figured if we're going to get banned, we either need to get banned for fighting the man reasons or because my tits are too magnificent for you people to handle.
Yep. Fortunately, wasn't that reason. It was a stupid terms of service thing about possibly putting a web address in the stupid profile.
For God's sake. They thought we were... Oh, Jesus Christ.
So...
Our website's in the show notes.
Websites are in the show notes. Our website is xchromosomepodcast.com. So we blog there, we post notes there, everything goes through there too. And we are on YouTube. The YouTube channel is not something that we have a simple YouTube at part, because I'm not paying the extra money to get the at part done at this point. At some point, if we get a lot of requests, we're going to need more financing just to pay for additional services like that. So, but our podcasts are on YouTube also. And finally, as we mentioned, we have an email address. This is where you're going to go through and contact the show about things about the show. So write us about anything, stories, ideas, guests, things of that nature, and we'll be able to go through and respond to you. More than likely, I'm going to respond via the email, but I always go and poke Noelle at the email so in case she wants to respond about something. That email is write us at xchromosomepodcast.com.
Yes, and do write us because it is Autism Awareness Month. We're all aware of autism. I guess Autism Advocacy Month.
Yeah,
we're pretty aware autism is a thing by now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the new less ableist term is, and I don't have time to look it up because we're live. But I am looking for guests for April, because we still have plenty of April left, that are neurodiverse, particularly autism. I want to get as many people on to talk about their experience with this type of neurodiversity as possible. A nice little round table would be nice. If talking to strangers over the internet is not your thing, please write the show. Email address already
Write
provided.
us
It's
at
also
in the show notes.
yeah, also in the show notes. Do check it out. I really want to use every month. Every month is a month about something that deals with intersectionality. And we can start looking into how gender and medical access and diagnosis access all come together to create a perfect storm of shit for certain patient populations. And Autism Awareness Month is the best jumping off point for that. Now that I realize that I have a groove I can get into, I post a quote a day on my personal Facebook page, and all February it was Black authors and Black public figures. Last month it was all feminists and women about being a woman. This month I've got a lot of Dr. Temple Grandin quotes because she's kind of a big deal in multiple spheres, and she's a woman, an animal rights advocate, an omnivore, and autistic.
This technically is what we consider a part 2, only because, as we've mentioned in the last couple of episodes, our bot failed us, and thus we lost half of the interview. So, while this is round 2, for everybody else, this is round 1. I'd like to introduce Alpha Riff. He is a nerdcore. I keep on saying Rift. It's Riff. I just keep on adding the T for no reason.
Like fuck, but without the uck on the end. Just like there's no T. We're fine. I've had a beer on top of being depressed, so this is gonna be great because I pounded that motherfucker. Shout out to Rheingeist out of Cincinnati. It is the Cheetah Lager. Okay. It's a very good, like a post yard work kind of a lager, kind of a summery thing. I did not bring them into the house, but by God, I'm taking them out.
I'm like, you can bring them into my house. Like, what's good? Like,
I'm looking forward to trying other things from the brewery.
Yeah, I need something to drink right now, but I know if I do, I'm gonna fall asleep.
We gotta crush this first.
Yeah, let's not do that. Yeah.
You okay?
Okay.
Hi.
What's up?
So we're trying this whole thing again.
Hi, guys. Yeah. I see. So we have 2 bots now. We have Craig the
the loser bot. Yes.
And then there's G-Arc, who I'm hoping is just gonna be recording everything backwards, because that would be awesome.
I would agree with that being awesome. However, that's simply the backup bot.
Damn it, Craig.
I feel really bad about damn it Craiging all the time, because I'm pretty sure at some point my friend and independent author, Craig, is probably going to listen to this podcast and be like, but why is she yelling at me all the time for a minute? Because he'll tune out just in time for us to explain. No, Craig is our recording bot. He's our producer, I guess. Support producer. I don't know how any of this works. He's got to have an official title, because we're just a bunch of robots around here.
I think I know it when it turned off. Like last time, I was looking at Craig and it just went gray, and I was just thinking like, "Oh, that's just what it's supposed to do." So if they're white,
right, pretty much every time,
right?
It's recorded.
The only time that white is okay, and a positive thing. Oh.
Oh man!
See, the beer makes me an asshole. Apparently.
So one of the things that we spoke about that didn't get recorded, which is related to white being good and okay and not, as part of the thing that came up with South by Southwest, the person of colorless thing.
Yeah. Yes. The what did I call it? The Adventures in Alabaster.
Yes.
You said like 12 different ways of not saying I had some run-ins with some fucking terrible white people, and they were all brilliant. I don't remember one of them.
Oh my god.
But yeah, the Adventures in Alabastery is probably one of the better ones.
Oh, good times. Good times. Good times. Yeah, so like the whole South by Southwest thing was cool because of course, you know, like I'm down there and if you see like any of the pictures, like there's maybe in like the group of people I was with, there's like maybe one white person. So you're just like, oh shit, like it's straight diversity. Like, you know, so many people doing so much cool stuff. But then you have nice little like actual run-ins and you just go, that's the shit that I'm fucking talking about right there. So like the one that stuck in my mind, what actually made me put up my little post or whatever, because I wanted to have other people jump in, other people of color jump in and like say shit, was so we were at the Nerdcore Showcase, right? And that was on, what was that? That was on Saturday. And so we're there and like everybody's performing, like all the, you know, all the people who had been like hanging out during the week were there. It was a pretty packed house. It was just like a super cool experience, right? So I'm sitting there and like the seats that they have are like that kind of Coliseum type seating. So it's like stair seats or whatever. So I'm sitting there, I'm high as shit. And I'm just vibing and my dude Super Smack comes over and I don't even remember, like, I know he was drunk as shit, but I don't know if like we had been talking about something beforehand or what. Like, you know, of course now like it's been so far from when that happened, I'm kind of like, were we actually talking about something? But he comes over and he sits kind of like behind me to the left, which was like at the very top of this little area or whatever. And so we're sitting there, we're watching, I don't even remember who was on, but we're sitting there watching them. And then like, as soon as everything like ends and he leans forward to say something to me, I saw these two white chicks literally walk past me. Like, so they're walking up the steps on my right side. And I'm just like, oh, okay, you know, cool. They'll probably sit like right behind me. Nah, these motherfuckers literally took his goddamn seat. Now his ass literally was like maybe 2 feet off this seat. So you know somebody had to like squeeze in there and give his ass cheeks like a little grab, like a little like pat or something. Like what the fuck, man?
Oh my god, I cannot stand people in my space. I would never do that to another human being because I would want to.
Right?
That's not enough room for me. I'm kind of compact. I can't.
Exactly. So like I'm already like kind of, I see this shit happen in real time because I'm turning to like look at him and I'm seeing this shit happen in real time. And then he kind of turns like he's about to sit down and he goes, yo, Alpha, these two white chicks just took my seat. And I looked at them and they're looking like they're doing that shit that people do where they know you're fucking looking at them. So now the ceiling is the most interesting thing that could ever exist on the fucking planet, right? And I'm just staring at them. And I was like, fucking colonizers. So I just scooted over because I was like, I'm too high. Like, when I'm super high, I can't even really enunciate. So I can't really go off on somebody when I'm high because people just be like, dude, chill. What the fuck is wrong with you? You can't even talk right now. I'm like, yeah, I can't talk normally, but I really can't talk when I'm high. So I just scooted over. I was like, you can sit down, man. Like, fucking colonizers. That was just like that was the thing that stuck in my brain. And I wanted my friend Shubzilla, because first and foremost, she has a song where literally she calls white people out from the stage and it makes people uncomfortable and they will get up and they will leave. Or they'll just after her set, they'll come up like, so I mean, was that really about like me or was that about other white people? And it's like, if you had to feel like you were being identified in that song, that was about you, period. So I kind of wanted her to like say some shit because me and her, we're always like doing private messages and stuff and just going, oh my God, let me tell you about some bullshit that happened today.
Oh
she
my
works
God,
in the tech industry and she's Filipino.
That's
so
some shit.
You already know. Yeah. So you already fucking know some shit's going to go on when she comes in and she's like, let me tell you about the shit that happened today. And I'm like, Shubs, lay it the fuck on me. I need to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna need contact information. Yeah,
because she needs to come on this show and fucking lose her shit about being a woman particularly of color, in the tech industry, because that's some
Mhm.
shit.
Oh my god.
Uh,
Yeah, just some of like the random stuff that she says gets said to her, and I'm just like, and like if you see videos and stuff, like she's pregnant, and now it's like you're a woman of color, you're in the tech industry, you're pregnant. People are probably mentioning your fucking husband, and is he gonna be able to do this and do that and blah 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 blah, and it's like that's none of your fucking business. Number one. And number two, she can still do everything she was doing before. Having a baby does not change your ability to do things. Like, maybe you're not bench pressing like 500 pounds, but you weren't before anyway. So that doesn't change. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could go on.
You could. And we would not stop you. We would just sit here rapt while you explained and were angry and did not need to apologize for it.
It's one of those things, like, because I've had people like ask me if I think about it too much, and I'm like, when I was born as a person of color, when I was born, there was already a bunch of shit that was assumed about me. So every time I enter anywhere, whether it's like a new place or a familiar place with, you know, some people who might be newer there, I always have to like gauge everything that's happening. And I have to gauge like what my place is in it, what my comfort level is, but not just being comfortable because like maybe I have, you know, super anxiety or something. No, my comfortable level because, hey, I don't know if this random white dude that's standing here is going to say some actual racist shit to me. Or if it's going to be like that subtle racist shit like, oh, you the whitest black guy I know. Like, no, I'm fucking me. If you knew my entire family, you'd know this is how my entire family is. So there's no like, I'm a white person. No, the people that taught me and made me get into the stuff that I'm into have my shade of skin. So like, what's good, you know? But it's like, yeah, I always have to think about that. That's the shitty part. And then when I do find people that I can just be like super free with, that's amazing. And I won't say it's like it's a rare thing because it's not a rare thing. Like, obviously, you guys, I'm comfortable talking with you guys, you know, like my friends, I'm pretty comfortable talking with like all my friends, but at the end of the day, like, I don't know when I go to any place what the atmosphere is going to be. Like, I have to gauge the atmosphere all the time. And I know that shit is even more exhausting when you have other stuff, like if you're gay or if you're trans or if you're a woman or, you know, like all of these other things. Like, these are things you have to gauge,
especially if you're all the above.
And that's exhausting, you know? And so yeah, I think about it all the fucking time. Like, I have to. It's my life. It's literally how I operate. So I don't know. People can they can get fucked, I guess. I don't know.
I don't even. Do we remember what else we talked about besides your adventures in Caucasity?
Well, last time things that we talked about that we're not going to get an honest reaction about is I found out about his dark past about getting married. And
yeah, that was the thing that freaked you out, was the getting married, not anything else he said.
Nothing else.
Wait, you were married?
Like,
no. See, because the married, I was just being quiet, just put my interjection in. Then he goes off and says, and then I did porn. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, that's the
See,
one.
Neither of these bother me.
No. It's not that they bothered me. It was like, these are just things I never remotely knew.
That's my superpower, is I get people to just admit things. but the funny part is this, it's not even like I don't hide it. Like I talk about my ex-wife, not all the time, but I'll be like, oh yeah, me and my ex-wife, we went to blah blah blah. Cause like nobody else can now hear because Craig, damn it, Craig. Me and my ex-wife were still friends. So like,
right.
You know, we talk every now and again. We haven't talked in like maybe 4 months or something, but like we talk every now and again. There's no animosity there. We're still friends on like Facebook and stuff. Every now and again we'll like each other's stuff, but we don't like show up for each other all the time.
Right.
So it's like an amicable kind of thing. So there's nothing to me. There's nothing weird there because we still even have some of the same friends.
Right.
But
Well,
yeah,
if everybody decided in a chill manner that this just was not working from a legal paperwork standpoint, and we're just gonna not, that's
Right.
awesome. And that's super non-toxic and very healthy
Yeah,
in terms of relationship dynamics. We need more of that shit.
I'm one of those weird people where I'm like, yeah, I'm friends with about 95% of my exes. Like, that's just it's what it is. Because even if like the romantic relationship didn't work, the platonic relationship can work. It just depends on like what it is. Because one of them, I mean, I'm gonna get kind of sad here. One of them passed away, so of course I'm not her friend any longer. That was actually my first girlfriend, and yeah, I miss her. Like we hadn't dated in almost 20 something years, so it wasn't like there was anything romantic there, but just just knowing she existed still and was out there, just kind of like living her life was a nice thing. And her best friend, me and her are still friends, so every now and again we see each other's stuff on like Facebook and Instagram and all that. And then one of my exes, well, she lives in Canada, and the last thing...
okay. Your ex from Canada.
No, hold on. So as soon as I mention that, I know for a fact that there's gonna be like 30 or 40 people that are gonna groan because they had to deal with this. They had to deal with the most toxic relationship I've ever been in my entire life. So now, if somebody is being super toxic, I can't even compare that because this other person was so unbelievably toxic that anything else that anybody else could ever do to me doesn't seem remotely anywhere as bad. It's like if somebody murdered your entire family and then the next person who came along just burned down your house, you were like, they weren't so bad. Like that's how unbelievably toxic this relationship was. And
that's some shit.
Yeah, so I mean, just to kind of throw it out there, here's the red flags that I'm not good at reading when it comes to, or just believing that people can be good people. Number one, she didn't have custody of her daughter. She didn't know where her daughter was. And her sister was one of the people that told the court that she should not be allowed to have her daughter.
Wow.
That should have been the biggest red flag right there. And my ass is like, people make mistakes. Maybe I can help you learn. No, you can't help people learn. People will either learn or they don't. Like, you can't force somebody to be a good person and to actually like take, responsibility for their actions. So that was number one. Number two was, it was very obvious that she actually needed to have like somebody in the mental health field who was monitoring her and helping her like do outreach work and like all of this stuff. Nobody was, because she had gotten, it was like $100,000 or $200,000 payout for something. And so she didn't have a job for like 4 years. And she was literally just living off this money. And instead of like trying to just kind of be a good person or whatever, she was like, well, I won't say be a good person, but trying to like actually face what is her mental health issues. She was like, I'm going to medicate with weed. No. Look.
I mean, you can, but
it's like,
you should probably figure out what your shit is.
Exactly. And it was very obvious that she didn't know like what her issues were, and weed was not going to help remedy any of that. So she became one of those people where if she wasn't high, she was literally a ball of rage, and she took it out on everybody for no reason. Like, when I was up there at one point in time, we went to go get a phone card from a gas station. And so we get in there, and like she was going through her wallet, and like the girl behind the counter was just like looked at the wallet and like laughed, but not in that like mean type of laugh. It was just like, oh, like I like what that wallet is or whatever. And she just flipped the fuck out at this chick. was like throwing stuff at her, and I had to pull her out of the gas station. I was like, yeah, we can't do this. Like, we got to go somewhere else. Like, and then she literally said, when we got back in my car, she was like, I just haven't smoked enough today. And I'm just like, that's not what that is. Like, you really do have some issues that you need to actually face with like a counselor, and you need to have people that are like, who actually have the ability to sit down with you and figure out a game plan on how to get you to mediate and figure out a way to live with what you have. And you're not doing that, and you refuse to do it because you hate big pharma. So that was like the next thing. It was like all of a sudden everything could only be a holistic, like kind of deal. And it can work for some people, but then for her, it obviously wasn't working, and she still kept going. The biggest thing, well, for me was, so we were in this relationship for like 5 months, and I went up and I saw her because I was living in New Orleans at the time. So I went up and saw her, and we had fun or whatever. And then I came back, and like everything seemed okay after I came back. And then it was like this drop off where the stuff she would say to me via text message was so angry and so toxic. Like, she told me one day that she hated it when I said, I love you. And she was like, because you're not here for that love to actually be here. So why would you say that? It's almost like you're lying to me. And I'm just like, what the fuck? We were having like a nice little conversation, and all of a sudden that happened. And stuff like that would happen so regularly. And then she would disappear for hours and then come back. She'd be like, I'm sorry, I went off on you. What? Like, that kind of stuff, it ends up kind of getting in your own psyche. What ended up leading to kind of like the eventual breakup was that she had lost her keys one night, and she was like, she got back home or whatever. She was like, I lost my keys, because she used to ride bikes all the time. So she was like, I lost my keys. So I went back out to find them, and there was some guy who lived in my apartment building. He was out there smoking, blah, blah, blah. And so he was helping me find the keys, and then she couldn't find her key, but her friend had a spare, and her friend was like at the hospital. So her and this dude went to the hospital to get the key. And the way that she put the language in, like how she was describing like the next series of events, was that her and her friend went back to her house, smoked, watched like The Simpsons or something, and then went to sleep. But I later found out it wasn't her friend. It was this dude. And apparently they fucked. But only like 30 minutes after she literally broke up with me via text message.
Whoa.
And then she came back 24 hours later, and she goes, he just wanted to use me for sex. And I still have this shit. Like, I have screenshots of these saved, because when I tell people the stuff that she said to me, it's like I can say it, but then when I send it and people go, oh shit, like you're talking like a normal relationship, and she's literally going off on you because you said, quote unquote, I saw you in my city today, which basically means I saw somebody who looked like you, and it made me think of you. Most people would be like, oh, that's so sweet. She literally screamed at me. Why would I say that? That's fucked up that you would say that. You know I'm not down there. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to say anything nice to you then. I have no idea what your trigger is at this point. So, yeah, there's that. There's that relationship. I don't even remember what the fuck I was talking about to begin with, but oh, yeah, so I'm not friends with her because apparently because I asked her friend who also no longer talks to her. Apparently the last time that her friend heard anything about her, she was running down the street naked, running from an ex-boyfriend because the ex-boyfriend said, hey, you need to go to sleep for work the next day, and she didn't want to, so she went screaming out of the house, running down the street naked. Yeah. So there we go.
I understand that.
Yeah. I'm like, I can understand, me now. But, yeah. And the money ran out, by the way, after
no.
Obviously. But yeah, the money, because when we started dating, she only had $10,000 left, I think, or something like that. So in 4 years, she basically spent $200,000. nothing because there was nothing to show for it. Good times.
That sounds like some shit.
Yeah, I've you know, I'm gonna segue this into music actually for a minute.
Go for it. Yes,
yes,
music.
my a lot of my relationships and a lot of the weird, just kind of messed up situations I've been in actually appear in my music. It was funny because currently I posted up a thing talking about I'm working on this song about mental health for April, and it's going to be like a wide release, but I'm going to release it on my Patreon at first at patreon.com/alphariff. I had my homeboy Witch Boy, he's going to come in, he's going to do a verse, but the idea is that, at least from my perspective, is that when it comes to mental health, like there's a million different kind of avenues you can take. Like you can do, if holistic healing kind of works for you, like take it. Because I know that some people, if they can sit down, they can meditate, you know, they can take certain herbs and certain things, like they feel better. Like it helps kind of like focus them, calm them, do what you have to do there. And then for some people, it's gonna be pharmaceuticals. You know, and that's gonna be the thing that helps. For some people, it's gonna be therapy. For some people, you know, they're just out here living life with nothing. And I swear to God, y'all are, hate to use this word, but y'all crazy for that shit. But the idea of the song, because I was bouncing around between different names that I wanted to use for it. And the chorus that I kind of came up with was breathe. It's the new medication. And the idea was, a lot of the time when we tell people like to calm down, we're like, just take a deep breath, like calm down. Not knowing that the idea of breathing isn't even really a calming thing. It can be, but you're, at least in 2019, we're taking in every pollutant known to man. That could be, just carbon dioxide from us, or it can be, like cigarette smoke, or it could be car pollution. It can be whatever. So breathing isn't really a healing exercise. Like, you're poisoning yourself breathing, but at the same time, you have to do it. It's the only thing that will calm you down. So kind of with the track, I wanted to have that idea that trying to figure out your mental health there's not going to be a finish line. Like, you're not going to hit this finish line and be like, I'm cured, I'm fixed. It's about trying to wake up every single day and literally trying to get to the end of that day so that when you sleep, you have a restful sleep. And everything in between that is you having to navigate whatever it is that's in your life, mental health wise. So it might be you wake up and you take your line of pills, and that's what you do. And that helps keep you focused. That helps, your anxiety not spike. And if you're like me, you have like an emergency anxiety pill, like you take that when stuff is getting a little bit too much. That's what you do to kind of make it to the end of your day. And then for some people, it'll just be like, I'm going to smoke like 3 bowls and then I'm going to go to work. And that's how I get through the day. For some people, that's just what it is. To me, there's not a good or a bad way to kind of work and fix your mental health unless it's purely destructive. Then that obviously, like, that's off the table. But if you're kind of going through and you're trying to figure out what works for you, figure that out. Don't worry about what other people are doing, because somebody else can be like, oh, I take this, this, and this, and that helps me. And if you took that, you would crash and fucking burn. Figure that out for yourself. And you're going to always have that part of your brain that's like, oh, you're not doing good enough, or you're not doing enough, or you're not this, that, and the other thing. Part of it is also telling that part of your brain to shut the fuck up, and just keep going. So, I started working on that and like stuff with, and as I was sitting there writing, because I started writing the lyrics yesterday, as I was sitting there writing, like, I came back and I started thinking of my ex, like, there was shit that she obviously needed to really be seen for. And she was kind of doing that. I'm just going to breathe and act like nothing else will ever work, when it's very obvious that she needed some other stuff. So I'm kind of like almost addressing my own demons, but kind of like looking at other people's, saying, hey, I know what you're going through, even if I'm not the exact same thing. And maybe you should probably go in, see somebody, see if something will fucking work for you. I mean, that's the only thing that we can do. Otherwise, bruh, if you go out here with nothing, heaven help your ass. I don't know how y'all do it. I really don't. I'm proud of y'all, but I don't know how the fuck y'all do it. Shit.
Wait. You're assuming that we're doing something like what you're talking about. Be sane.
It's so fucking weird. Like even the idea of like sanity, like what even works on that level? You know what I mean? Like, y'all, I don't think I'm high enough for this shit right now.
Are you heavy exhaling, or are you smoking exhaling with that? Because that it's kind of a halfway between. You've got this life is tough, like you just got done working out, like I'm done, I'm putting down the weights, and then you've got this like slow like you just hit it and you're getting ready to pass it.
I mean, breathe. It's the new medication. That's all I'm saying.
Air. It's good for the brain.
It's good for the brain. Until you realize that it's filled with every pollutant, and now you're going to all die. Oh, good times. But
I don't think I could get high on period. Unless... only thing that's ever really gotten me even remotely high has been codeine.
Ooh. Okay.
And basically, I'm glad that shit isn't over the counter. Because the few times that it was prescribed to me, I was like just wanting the next hit.
Yeah.
Thankfully, there's no refills on those, so I'm like, okay, it's over, it's done. But
yeah, my weakness for that is actually Percocet. Last time I had it is because I tripped on my front steps when it was like super icy, and I actually hit my back on the concrete step, like right at the bottom of the wood step.
Ow.
And I laid there for like 10 minutes in the freezing cold, like, I can't move. And my roommate finally comes outside, and she's like, oh my God, what happened? I'm like, I'm dying. And then they were like, nah, you just bruised your back like super fucking bad. So they gave me Percocets, and woohoo, that was a good week. That was a good week right there.
Yeah, the last time I was given perks, something was wrong with my shoulder to the point that my friends were like, go to the ER now, you might be having a heart attack. And as a hefty guy, I'm like, okay, I'll go to the ER. I go to the ER, I wait, and then they're basically thinking that I'm just trying to look for drugs and things like that. I'm like, no, what I want is a fucking x-ray on my shoulder so I know if it's not fucked up. I just want to know if there's something, I'm going to need a surgery or whatever. And they're like, well, take some ibuprofen. And I'm like, if ibuprofen fucking worked, I wouldn't be here. This isn't an ibuprofen deal.
Take a couple ibuprofens. Motherfucker, that shit don't never work for nothing. I don't even... it's placebo.
I followed up with my PCP and luckily got like a next day appointment. And he goes, all right, so did they take x-rays at the ER? I'm like, no. He's like, why? I'm like, because the ER is shit, and they think that I'm trying to get drugs, when I just want to make sure I don't have, like, a ripped, I don't know, rotator cuff, or I don't know. I just want the pain to go away. Turned out I just had, like, bad tendonitis, and the Percocets did knock it out. But it's like, unfortunately, if we had options across the nation, like pot, for example, which unfortunately has no effect on me, people wouldn't have to go to Percocets,
right,
or other opiates and things like that if they could just smoke a joint or take a hit on a bong or something like that, just to have them distress, relax, and feel a little bit less pain.
Legalize.
Now, I'm in Massachusetts.
Decriminalize!
Yes!
Better than legalize.
I'm in Massachusetts. They did legalize. They're finally starting to get... they're finally starting to get shops opening up across the country, across the state. But it's one of those things where right now, me and Noelle have this running joke about cocaine. Every time she
it's only kind of a joke. I had a conversation with another neurodiverse ADHD person where we discussed that, if we had a coke habit, we would be skinny and rich, and that wouldn't be a problem, and our ADD would be managed, and all of that would be great, particularly the rich part. Because, coke is for classy people.
It really is.
And the worst thing is that I just brought up this joke with a friend at work, and he looks at me and goes, well, I have someone to talk to about it. I'm like, don't tell me that. I don't need to know that. Because it's like, the joke is like, Noelle will say something that might fix something. I'm like, I'm going to try cocaine. She's like, no, don't. And every time, like, everything you say are good things, and I have not tried cocaine. Maybe this will fix everything.
It will not. It will not. I'm telling you.
Coke will not solve problems for you. I promise.
We'll solve zero problems. Stop watching. What is it? Wolf on Wall Street. Stop. Just stop.
Archer is not a role model.
Thankfully, I have not seen either of these things. But I think that it's like, I think it would work anyway, to be quite honest. Because even when I had legal meth in the form of Adderall, that didn't work either. But it's one of those things where sanity is a concept that people strive for, and sometimes you might have to be like, something? I just have to live with my version of sanity.
Yeah. That's basically, that's all you can do. I can't figure out like what anybody else is thinking. I just know that we as beings have agreed that doing shit like killing people, raping people, and like a myriad of other things are bad. So I'm going to just go with that, and I'm hoping everybody else goes with that. And if not, then you're insane. Like, I kind of want to redefine like what sanity and insanity are. Like, insanity is just you know what the moral code is and you say fuck it. And sanity is you go, nah, dude, we're gonna be cool. I mean, we can disagree on some stuff, and maybe I hear some voices, but I'm saying, like, that's what I want. Can we do that? Would that be cool? Is that cool with everybody?
That would work better with the definitions that the media seems to use.
Right.
Because you are insane when you shoot up a school.
Exactly.
Or you're a lone mentally troubled individual in certain circumstances.
But you also have to be white.
Well, I wasn't even going to say that. But yes. Yes, you also have to be white for that qualifier to kick in. Thank you, Bill, for pointing out the obvious. You have to be a conservative white man.
Yes, bingo.
To get tapped with you're a lone gunman. No.
A lone fucking
gunman. You're not. You're a radicalized piece of shit who refuses to do anything who refuses to listen to anything that challenges the confirmation bias you have already set up.
Let them know. Tell them.
We do, and then they kill us. So this is not a good dynamic. But I
hate this dynamic.
Yes, it's a shitty dynamic, and it kills women and people of color most.
Donald Glover has a comedy sketch where he talks about how men have crazy girlfriend stories, and women do not have crazy boyfriend stories because anybody that has a crazy boyfriend is dead.
Is dead. Yep.
Or don't dare talk about it because they would like to stay alive. I say nice things about some very awful people.
I mean,
except in specific company. And then I lay it all out. I also lay it out on Facebook on the regular, but I'm pretty sure none of the people are. It's going to get back to.
oh my shit.
The getting back to the bad shit isn't as much of a concern on Facebook.
For me, like, people just gonna do it anyway. So I'm just like sliding the DMs, like, let's talk, Playboy, like about whatever fuck shit you got going on, and I'm gonna put you guys. Oh wait, I do that. Did I? Was that part of the part that got cut out from the last
Yes,
recording?
Oh, it was.
Oh, good fucking times. Because I even think I'd like copied and pasted the.
No, we still have those.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
we just don't have you going off about that shit.
Y'all wanna hear that story again?
Well, see, they'll be hearing it again for the first time.
Ooh. Well, I mean,
because it didn't get saved.
I'll
listen. Look, I've been drinking and I slept twice. I'm not sure I remember the whole thing. So please tell me this story again for the first time.
Look, I have no hey bro, look, I have no beef with you personally, but so many of the people you follow are the exact types of pieces of shit who push for unfair legislation. Like the bullshit legislation right now that has
hold on, Bill, pause for 1 second. What you are hearing is a recitation of a Bill reading an actual conversation that was said to me because I did not step in when somebody I know was getting their ass handed to them because they apparently wanted to be against feminism because it hurt men or something. I honestly still do not fucking understand what was going on. But let me rewind. Let's begin at the beginning. So when was this? Like, does it show the date or whatever on those screenshots? Because I can't remember.
Yes, it does. The date is. The date that the screenshot has is it's probably shortly after this, 12/8/2016.
Okay, so we talking 30-something years ago. All right. So I've known this guy for forever. One of my oldest friends up to that point. And me and him, we'd get along. We'd like not talk for a while, and then generally he'd come back, and it'd usually be because he wanted me to like do something with him, like work on something, whether it was like a game or a website or a song or something. He was one of those kind of people where if you weren't like doing what he wanted to do right there and then, he didn't really talk to you for a while. And I should have kind of known he was that kind of person for like the longest time. But like I said, I knew him for a while, so it was just like old friend kind of deal. So I post this status, and it was actually from a Twitter screenshot that I took, and it was a woman who was saying that feminism didn't need men, it needed women. And of course, it's Twitter, so you only have at least then 140 characters. I think it's more now or something like that.
Right.
So you can't really like dig deep into what you're actually saying. Like, so you put that out, and then there'll generally be like a discussion after that. So the idea is for feminism to actually not just work, but like for feminism to be even stronger than it needs to be and will be, you actually have to have women not say, I don't need feminism. Because as soon as a woman says that, you're like, oh my fucking God, like you're not understanding what it is that the actual movement is doing. You're buying into patriarchy once again, because you think it hurts this, and this, and because it doesn't have like a men element to it. But once you deconstruct patriarchy, it helps literally everybody. So just get on board with it. Like, let's go. So I post that up, and I said, I think my caption was just like, what do you guys think? Like, say your opinion in the comments or whatever. And I do that a lot because I'll generally not even come back to the status at all, or unless like it pops off and like people start saying some super fucked up shit. And this is one of those moments, but I was actually working nights then. So I posted the status and I either went to sleep or I went to work or something. Whatever it was, I wasn't like paying attention to the status. And then I kind of look up and I see there's like 200 plus comments. And this now ex-friend of mine is in there literally losing his fucking shit. His point was that women shouldn't have the court rights that they do, and they shouldn't be able to get custody and ask for like child support and like all this other shit because his one baby mama did him dirty. He has.
What did he do to deserve to be done dirty to? Oh,
I have some opinions on that and on why the courts gave the mother custody. I'm not privy to the documents, but I'll say it like this dude never, like, he would go for tech jobs, for like website type jobs, but he never had something that was so solid. So if I asked, like, he wanted to do something and I was like, yo, do you have the money for it? It's like, nah, can you spot me? And I'm just thinking to myself, dude, I work in logistics, so I'm not getting paid a shit ton of money. And you work in tech, and I know you're probably making more money than I am. What the fuck are you doing with all your cash where you can't even come up with like this small amount that I'm asking you to put forward? So I'm pretty sure that probably had a part in it. And then there was like some family stuff that might have been going on too. That was like on the basis of that. And like I said, I don't know what the court said. I've never met that particular mother because I think he has 3. So I've never met that one. So I don't know her from Adam. Like, I literally have no opinion on her. I don't know what she's like as a person. I don't know what she's like as a mom. I don't know what she's like as a worker, a citizen. I have no idea. So like, I have no backing for that. I only know him and I know his history with me. So I'm like, yeah, there's more to this story that you ain't telling. And you're in here going off. And then, of course, everybody read him his shit. So he got mad.
Well, he deserved to have all his shit read.
Completely read, front to fucking back. And then I look up and I get, go ahead, Bill. Read it for us.
Okay. Let me get into my asshole.
Tap into the asshole? I mean, that is clearly a case for phrasing.
Hey, bro, look. I have no beef with you personally, but so many of the people you follow are the exact types of pieces of shit who push for unfair legislation. Like that bullshit legislation right now that has caused me to not see my daughter in over a year. Legislation that allowed it to be legal for my son's mother to have rights to him by default because she's a woman, even though time and time again there's been evidence of abuse in her care. I just want to say any of these proper pauses are because of English. This person loves run-on sentences. I have to fork out thousands and thousands of dollars in child support that my child doesn't see, while his mother spends it on alcohol and other shit that doesn't pertain to him, all while she stays unemployed. That is the fucking law doing that. The fact that so many of your followers are so close-minded and ignorant, the fact that their movement strengthens these injustices, and it's laughable to them when you try to explain your side. Literally, some of the most heartless and selfish people I've come across, they make me literally sick. While I hold nothing against you personally, I have to resort to some middle school shit and remove you from Facebook, man. I can't and I will not sit here and read their ignorant shit all day. People like them are why they will never be equality in race, gender, etc., and they are a fucking hate group. Fuck them and everything they stand for. The long pauses are going between screen caps. I've known you for quite a long time, 19 years now. You know I would love nothing but equality in the world. I don't hate. I've supported you in every phase of your life. I won't lie, it's hurtful that not only did you have no interest in mediating dialogue, but then you go so far as to subliminally reference it later, like we have no place to speak on the subject. That hurts, man. But 19 years was a good run. I guess that this is where our roads part. I genuinely wish you the best of luck with all you have going for you, and I hope any injustices that you faced are resolved for you. Unfortunately, I cannot fight at your side, as it is the side that...
Did you stroke out there for a second?
No, it was in between things, so I had to find my place.
Okay, that was a long, uncomfortable pause.
Unfortunately, I cannot fight at your side, as it is the side that is all of the injustices I face. Until then, I suppose we can just be two brothers in arms on opposing sides. I truly love you and wish you the best. That's cool, man. I understand. All right.
Hold on. No, hold on. So you have to, before you read that last part, you have to understand that he's the kind of person where if he sends you a message and you don't answer it in the time frame he wanted you to answer it, he says that last part.
Yeah, it was quotes. All right, cool, man. I understand, end quote. All right, good talk.
Yeah. So the quotes was supposed to be me responding to him. So I literally woke up to that and I went, yeah, you're never getting a response from me, dude. Like, hell, like, fuck you. First and foremost, if you think people should respond to you in the time you think they should respond to you, fuck you. Like, you
go fuck yourself, dude.
So that's
just for that.
That's number one. Number two, mediate. Bitch, I'm got a job. I'm working on fucking music. I got other shit I'm doing. I literally post stuff to Facebook and I bounce. So just to give you an idea of like how often I'll just randomly post something and then come back and go, wait, the fuck? So I posted something, was it yesterday, I think, or like earlier today, and I've gone viral. I got like 1,000 something shares thus far, and I'm like, oh, okay.
What?
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. So that's a fucking thing that we're doing. But I'm just like, I post shit.
What the hell did you do?
So for people who don't know, I literally go viral once a month, and it'll be the most random ass shit. So the last time before this time that I went viral, it was this post where I took a screenshot of was it somebody on Tumblr or something like that who was saying basically like if somebody from a certain group says, yo, don't say that, don't do that, that's offensive, how about you fucking listen to them? And I was like, oh, the golden rule. So I literally took pictures of myself, one pointing down with a face and then one pointing up with the same face, and I put that together, and that went like 2,000 or 3,000 shares, and some dude got on there and was like, is Christianity one of these protected groups? And I said, LOL, fucking what? And then the dude proceeded to literally double down and say that Christians were the most hated group in all of history. And I said, excuse me, what? I was like, dude, I need you to understand, I literally have nothing any fucking religions. Like, I love religion. Like, if you look at all of my work, it references religion out the ass constantly. But no, don't ever say that. Literally never say that. And him and some other people kept going, and then I screenshotted that stuff because I was just like, oh, this is just gonna be too good. But then like before that, it was like some Final Fantasy stuff. Like it'll be random stuff. Oh, and then I posted a Pokemon thing where I actually did the Snapchat for it, and I put like my Snapchat caption, which was like, because it was like a Kangaskar and someone else, and like the Kangaskar had his arm like around the other Pokemon, and the trainer was standing there looking at them. So the caption I put in the Snapchat was, "She already got a man. Go throw your ball somewhere else." And that got like 12,000 shares or some shit like that. It's just ridiculous shit like that. So I'll just post it up and it just goes viral. And I'm like, oh, okay. So the thing that I did this time, it actually is just a screen cap of somebody else's status because I couldn't share the status. So I was just like, oh, just screen cap because whatever. And I left the dude's name in there, and it says, ain't Sephora the dude from Final Fantasy VII? And
I saw that and I lost my shit. I was like, yes, Sephora is in fact the dude from Final Fantasy VII. That's exactly. I walk into the store, the One Wing Angel plays, and it's a boss fight, and my wallet loses every time.
I'm just like, and that's the thing. Like, literally, I posted it yesterday at 4:28 p.m. and I'm like, I don't think anything else of it. I post a bunch of other random shit, and then I come back today and I go, wait, why do I have so many Oh yeah. Oh, so now it's at 1.1k shares. So we'll see if that one does some numbers. I think my highest almost 15,000 shares or some shit like that. So we'll see if this one does some numbers. But it's like, I don't understand how shit like this works, because literally 3 hours before that, on the same day, I posted something else Final Fantasy related that I thought was funnier, because it was my friend talking about, my now friend talking about Cyan from Final Fantasy VI, and he goes, dog, some of us are still waiting for Cyan's sword tech to charge up to 8. And I was like, oh my fucking God. Like, Final Fantasy VI came out in 1994, and if we still waiting for the sword tech to charge up to 8, like, that was so funny to me, and it only got like 8 comments and 4 reacts, and I'm just like, oh. So it's just random. Like, I don't really like police my Facebook. Like, I look at stuff every now and again, which is why I'll tell people, like, if it's really important, text me. If it's not super important, send it to me in Facebook Messenger or like Instagram. If it's not important, you can comment on the status. I might see it, I might not, because it's just, I have like so much shit that just comes and goes. But this dude, like, going back to him, like, he's one of those people. He really thinks I'm sitting there just like policing my statuses. At least then, my statuses regularly were like 200 plus comments because people were in there arguing. I'm not policing shit. Y'all are adults. Do what you do. If you open your mouth, you better own it. And if you own it and get your ass handed to you, you better apologize or just walk away.
But it's important to be able to police your own shit. Because, unfortunately, things like this, and I'm saying unfortunately, sarcastically, will happen.
Oh my God.
So,
what is this? I'm clicking it.
If you go to Twitter and you look up the hashtag yacht cocaine prostitutes, and
what yacht cocaine what the shit?
And you select
Twitter,
people,
what are you doing?
And you select people, Devin Nunez, or however says it, pops up as and he is Trump's primary supporter in Congress.
Oh yes. That is amazing. That is. I mean,
amazing. Are these prostitutes that only work for cocaine and on yachts, or is this like, are there commas involved? How does this hashtag work? I'm old. Explain it to me.
You remember all those long sentence hashtags I used to write for Dre?
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
And like, so I click on his, because he goes, retweets do not equal endorsement. This is my personal Twitter account. If you have questions about my official activities, please visit my website. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, if you're in government, you don't have a personal Twitter account at all.
You don't have a private anything.
Anything. You got into this business so that we could know what the fuck you were doing at all times. And if what you do doesn't equal like what we believe in, we have a right to know. And then I'm like scrolling down his shit, and every post that shows a face is an old white guy who looks like he is basically responsible for like the T virus and Resident Evil. And
that's never a good look.
And he's doing it from like the safety of some island, except for he doesn't know that there's like 3 zombies behind him, because of course, like every good villain, he couldn't actually account for everything because he's fucking stupid as shit. So yeah, he's about to get eaten. But literally all of them have that look, or they have the face of, I know this is some fuck shit. I just hope that I die before the fuck shit hits the fan. Oh wait, that's this guy's face. Holy shit. That's just his normal face. This Devin Nunes guy, like,
that's just his fucking
that's
face.
His face. Holy shit! He really
God
knows.
gave him.
Oh my god! I never knew somebody could have a face that's just like, "Yup, I know fuck shit is going down, and I'm just hoping that my wife kills me in my sleep tonight." Like, holy shit! That's
I've
amazing.
seen some shit. I want my wife to kill me in my sleep.
Just don't have my cow kill me.
Oh
this
my
is the guy
god!
This is the guy that was trying to sue Twitter because of the parody account about his cow.
Oh my god!
He has a cow?
Yes, there's a Twitter Devin Nunes cow.
Oh, hold the fuck! Like now I'm down. Like, I don't know why you had to tell me. And then
we're down.
I was about to be one of those old people who didn't understand that the search bar and where you tweet are two different things. And I was about to type Devin Nunes cow like the Twitter bar and just fucking tweet it. Oh, God damn it.
Oh, shit. Hey, while we're just fucking around, did we actually capture all of the cool shit about your Digital Champions project, or did fucking Craig the bot fuck that shit up?
Shit, I don't know.
All gone.
Oh,
it's all gone. No, I've been getting all kinds of cool shit about that. We need to re-talk about how awesome your Digital Champions project is.
Okay, we can.
Like all of March tweeting and sharing and whatever the fuck you kids do these days. Some amazing shit.
See, it's funny because Noelle goes off and says whatever the fuck you kids are doing these days, and I'm a few months older than her.
Look, ageless harpy is sort of my thing. It's my my idiom. It's just how I do.
Wait, I mean, you don't have to. Nobody has to say how old they are, but what numbers are in your age?
0 and 4.
Nobody has to say it, but just say it. What the fuck is that shit?
He asked for the numbers. He didn't say in order.
I didn't say in order.
You don't have to say your age, but just say the numbers in an approximation of there's only 2.
I mean, technically, you could say like 4 of them, and you could be like, well, 2 of them are it. And I mean, when am I gonna get? I'll get one of them right and one of them wrong. Like it's 2, 3, 3, 1. Which numbers then? Like there is so much possibility there. But if there's 2 numbers. However, if those are the numbers, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and click close on Discord because this is not for you. Like this podcast is not for you. Oh, all right. So
yeah, tell us again for the first time about your awesome Digital Champions project.
Digital Champions.
I can tell. I know your heart is super into that, and it's happy.
It is. Yeah, and especially because because I came back from South. Yeah, okay. So Digital Champions, as people will not know, because this of course is their first time hearing this, I am Alpha Riff, and I'm a musician. The type of music that I play is anywhere from kind of alternative hip hop to like progressive rock and progressive metal, and it just throws everything in it all at once because that's all the shit I love. I also love telling stories. So after I kind of came out and did my first album From Beta to Alpha Riff, I was like looking at an idea for doing concept stuff because I always do like, even From Beta to Alpha Riff was like a concept album. And like all my old bands and all my old projects had concepts and stories to them. So I was like, of course I got to do that same stuff. So just to give you guys a little bit of history, I had a song called Black Holes Just Mean I Love You in Space Jargon that was on From Beta to Alpha Riff. And I submitted that to a PAX compilation CD. And people got it, they listened to it, and then I started getting a bunch of messages of people going, yo, I just heard this song, like it's so dope. I was like, wait, where the fuck are these people hearing this song? And I had completely forgotten about like the PAX compilation and everything. So once people like were kind of hooked onto it, and they were kind of vibing off the idea of me talking to like an AI partner or something like that. I looked at my roommate and I was like, yo, how about we just do songs that are like that, where we're partners and we basically go back and forth and we do different stuff. And we ended up doing a song called Digital Champions Bounty, and that was for this compilation album called Nerdcore Absolution Volume 2. And we put that on there. People were vibing with it, and it was like the first actual like look at what Alpha and MZ are. MZ being his AI partner. And basically, at the time, she could come out of the bike, but she was kind of limited in the scope. Like, the story wasn't, like, fully fleshed out yet. So I sat down and I basically wrote a script. And it was the story of the first Digital Champions album. And the first Digital Champions album, it is Digital Champions Migdal Babel. And it's basically about the Tower of Babel. I mean, it's kind of the same concept that somebody built a tower up to the heavens to see their god, which is named Prog, short for programmer, and they're trying to get, you know, a certain power and everything, and Alpha and MZ kind of get wrapped up into it. The interesting idea is, like, instead of just having a concept and me telling you what the story is, and because I'm part of Nerdcore and I like hip hop and everything, I love the idea of collaboration. So I went and I asked multiple people, like, hey, come in, play a character. So this character will be, you know, for instance, BB Stewart. So BB Stewart, he's the information man. He runs a club in the city. You go to him to get everything that you need to know. And I had one of the people come in, Tech Force, he came in and he played BB Stewart. So he embodies the character. He writes his own lyrics. And so that character takes on Tech Force's voice. When you think of the character, you kind of hear the voice and everything. So we did this with all the characters. And people loved it because instead of you just being told a story, now you can kind of interact with the story. Now you can kind of see where the story is coming from different perspectives, and there's different voices to the story itself. And then to add on to that, with concept stuff, you don't want to just have just the music. And one of the big things that I wanted to do from the start was to show these characters, and not just in like, here's a poster of all the characters kind of way. I wanted it to be kind of tangible. So we created pixel art. I had my friend Daniel Hill actually do pixel art. He did most of the characters. He did like 18 of the first 20 characters. Alpha and MZ were made by my friend Thor. And so we had pixel art, and I was like, well, we can't just have pixel art and throw it up and here's pixel art. I was like, nah. The cool part would be if you had something physical with these characters. And so we did trading cards. So the pixel art of the characters on the front, we give you like a little byline of kind of what they are, and then on the back you have their bio. So it kind of expands on the character and stuff that they're referencing in the songs. Now it kind of makes sense. Like if somebody says, because BB Stewart says that him and Alpha used to be partners together, and the last time that they did anything together, it was with these three triplets from this certain planet. And come to find out, when you're reading more about BB Stewart, it's actually not a planet, and the triplets were actually these three club owners that Alpha and BB Stewart had to kill. And so for payment, BB Stewart got one of the clubs, and that became his club. And now when you hear that one little line, it says an entire story. Now you know what the entire story is. So Digital Champions is kind of that. Every time that we do something, it's going to be a big story, we're going to have characters in it and everything like that. So we did the second album, Digital Champion Mors Eterna, and it became more of a kind of rock album near the back end of it. The first half, I wanted to have it be kind of like electro, some hip hop stuff. The middle was going to be more hip hop beats with some synth work. And then the back end was just balls to the walls, like rock, metal, super epic. There's a fucking 12-minute long song on there with like 30 something people. It's got like 9 verses, like, and it's when you get to that point in the story, like, you know the characters, you've heard them multiple times, you know their stories, you know like the stuff they're gonna say and do, you know the bravado that certain characters are gonna have and how certain characters are gonna talk the most shit. or you're learning about some of the relationships that these characters are having as you go through the albums. And of course, with something like that, people were just like, okay, like it's getting bigger, like it's got to come to almost a head. And so with that album, we ended it on a cliffhanger. And so you don't know at the end of that album whether the hero survived, whether Digitalia, the world that Digital Champions takes place in, survives. You don't know if Prague was able to save anybody. Like, so you don't really know kind of what's happening. And that's been the cliffhanger for like the last 3 years. So nobody has known anything. And late last year, I came back and I was like, yo, I got another story to tell, and y'all fuckers ain't gonna be ready for this shit. So what I announced was that I'm doing actually 2 EPs instead of a big album this time. And each EP, one of them is from Alpha's perspective and one of them is from MZ's perspective. They run concurrently. They're telling the same story, but from these 2 different perspectives, because at one point in time, these 2 characters are no longer like next to each other. They're actually completely, I don't want to say opposite ends of the world, but they have to meet back up at some certain point in time. So I've been kind of teasing the first one. The first one is called The Architect. So that's Alpha Riff's, his story. And then the second one is called The Angel. The Architect's going to come out probably, I'm shooting for later this year. And then The Angel will come out around mid next year. And the thing that I kind of wanted to do is that when you listen to these, you definitely want to listen to the song that runs concurrently with the song that you're listening to get that side of the story, because they kind of interject with each other. There's some different little cool things that I want to do where if you have both of the EPs, you definitely get the fuller version of the story than if you just were to listen to just the one of them. And then just different little things, because, with a story like this, you want to have like themes in terms of musical themes, in terms of lyrical themes that people say, and stuff that comes back that kind of relates to albums that came before and characters that came before and things that they're referencing. So we have a lot of that in play as well. And I can't keep a secret. I'm literally like the Tom Holland of my own shit. Like, do not give me the fucking script to my own, because I get so excited about like creating stuff, and I'm just like, oh my God, I love this. But I mean, if you know me in real life, and you know me as an artist, I'm like that with my own friends stuff. Like, oh my God, tell me everything, So it's been so hard to keep shit, like, to not just tell people the full story, like, oh my God, this is what's going on. Because I think when they see the artwork, when they see like the album art for this, when they see the pixel art for this, when they see some of the other stuff that we're kind of working on, they're going to be like, okay, what the fuck happened? Because you guys are referencing some super dark shit. And I really fucking want to show people what we're doing, but I can't yet. I'm waiting for a couple more pieces to kind of come in. And then probably this month, I will start showing people stuff for The Architect. But I have teased some of the songs. I did at South by Southwest. I did The Warlord, which is on The Architect. And The Warlord is Alpha and MZ basically are on the run from this guy named Lou Keto. And he has a shit ton of like tanks and like Jeeps. And it's basically like Mad Max Fury Road style stuff going on. So I did that. Really good reception for that. One of my friends actually was like, I haven't heard your new stuff in years, and that's way fucking different than the shit you were doing years ago. And I'm just like, I'm back in my element, which feels supernatural to me. Is to do like this kind of music with like hip hop and screaming and singing and everything like in it and over top of it, and just getting people like super excited and super into it. And then having like the Patreon, it's one of those things where a lot of people have like a Patreon and they're just like, oh, subscribe. And I'm like, yeah, I have a Patreon. When you subscribe, you become part of the world. And that's like the biggest hook for me, is like bringing other people into it. So even when you go into the Patreon, you subscribe to it. When I make a post, I'm posting as if I'm the Alpha Riff of Digitalia. And I'm talking to you as if you're a member of my crew. And then we have even like the little trading cards for members. So those get mailed out. And so people will have their quote unquote ID badges, which is just, something cool to kind of have and say like, hey, I'm part of this group.
That's some badass shit.
Like, I mean, it's like when people go, what is Digital Champions? I go, Digital Champions starts with the music and then it branches out. So you can, if you just want to just listen to the music, even without the concept and all that, you can literally just pick up songs and just listen to them. Cause a lot of them we made them to just like jam to. But if you want to get into the actual like lyrics and the storyline, you can definitely listen to it that way. And then if you're super into the characters and everything, there's the trading cards, there's external media that we're working on, like comic books, and I'm working on novels and stuff like that. So, there's stuff like that. And then if you're one of those people like, man, I want to make something that's in that world, I want to tell a story. Well, that's part of like why I created it. Is so that other people can even come in and tell stories. Like they can pitch an idea and go, hey, I have an idea for a comic book I want to make. Here's the story to it. And then we'll look at it and we'll be like, okay, sweet. It doesn't break anything that's come before. It tells its own original story. It can even use characters that have already been created. And that's your project. All we ask is a certain like fee to keep it going, to promote. And if you need any help, like just let us know. And that's your project. You earn money off of it. Like that's just kind of, I want people to come in and feel like they're actually a part of this thing I created. Cause I love doing that with other stuff and like meeting other people and just being super in love with the stuff that another creator has made. And when you get in that community, you meet the other people who are also in love with it. And you guys kind of create your own side stories within that. And I've always been into that. And I wanted to create a kind of place for that. So my easiest way to do it was starting with the music and then branching out with everything else.
That's so amazing. You have no idea.
Thank you.
It's just, the whole concept is cool. Like that, and then the collaboration aspect is also really cool. And then just, it's all neat.
Because I'm always like, even though I'm working on this stuff, I have to plan like 1 to 2 albums from now. So I've already reached out to people who won't even record anything for probably 2 years. But I'm asking people now like, hey, I have this character in mind. I'd love to have you play him. And if they're like, sweet, I want to play it, I'm like, all right, earmark them. And if I have to, I'll find a replacement. Or I've been actually talking to a lot of voice actors. So a lot of voice actors who are showing interest. And the reason why I'm reaching out to them is with the coming stuff, I want to be able to have like, quote unquote, radio broadcast, if you will. And just people who play characters that live in that world, and they're newscasters, they're journalists, they're people who are kind of updating the populace on the stuff that's going on and making the world seem more alive. So I've been reaching out to people with that, wink, wink.
I don't sing. Why are you winking at me?
I said,
don't wink at me.
I said voice actors.
Wait, what are you accusing me of doing? I am a swamp troll. Nobody wants to listen to me.
You could be the character that always comes in and goes, I don't believe any of this shit that is happening. And we're like, no, literally the portal opened right there and the person is half in and half out and frozen. How do you not believe that? And you're like, because my name is Scully. And we're like, God damn it. Like, why can't we do that? That's going to be the character you play. Boom. It's written in the headlines. It's already done.
See, and one of the things about podcasting, and I would also say this goes to the fact about people having an issue with voice, especially hearing their own voice. You hear your voice in your head, you think it's and it's fine in your head, but as soon as it's recorded, you're like, oh my God, how can anybody listen to me? I do that all the time, and this is my fourth podcast. It's one of those things where when someone says something about how you talk or your voice or something of that nature, and people are like, "What? Wait, who? Me? What? No, you're not talking about me. My voice is horrible." I used to make a joke at one of my old call center jobs that all the recordings of me on the phone, I sounded like I was a chipmunk. We had a Christmas booth decorating contest. The president of the company who was going to be judging it, when they got to my booth, I didn't get anything decorated. They're like, "Where's your decorations?" I just turned on my MP3 player and I pressed play. The Alvin and the Chipmunks Christmas Time is here. And everybody around me started cracking up because they knew I sound like a chipmunk on the phone. And without effort, I got third place in the contest because there was a song that matched.
Nice.
I think if Noelle is given a script, she just has to dig deep into her inner personalities and she knock it out.
I believe in you, Noelle. I believe in you.
Okay, you're both very sweet. Your checks are in the mail.
Is mine bigger than Bill's?
I mean, you're closer, so I don't have to send it as far. So
Oh, yes. Yes.
I can hand delivery. 2 hours or less.
Yes.
Where the cops are. And how shitty 75 is.
Mm.
Hey, and say Alpha's nearby, so if necessary, you could go and record it there, and he can make sure that you sound great.
Boom. Look at that. I love it when a plan comes together.
I do not love it when a plan comes together without my consent when it involves me. I did not agree to I did not agree to this podcast originally, and I do not agree to being a voice actor. How much does it pay?
What's your asking price? That is actually so fun fact, because a lot of people I know, you're like, oh, he probably just asks like everybody and people just do it for free. No, the first thing that I usually ask people whenever I approach anybody is, so how much do you charge? I will always ask that. So I'll always pay like what anybody's asking.
You are an excellent content collaborator, and everybody in the world appreciates you for that.
I mean, I want it, like, it's now getting to that point for me. It should have been for a while, but anyway, let's not talk about that. But it's now getting to the point for me where people literally, hey, what do you charge for like adding guitar into a song or vocals and stuff? And I appreciate that. And there's a lot of people I'm just like, nothing, I'll do it for free. I'd fucking love you. Like, let's just do whatever. And then there's people where it's like, yeah, I want to get paid a little bit, or I got merch I gotta buy this week, so go ahead and deposit that in the PayPal. You will find that at.
That being said, I just want to interrupt. For those that actually don't read the show notes, he does our music for our podcast.
Yes, this is our intro and outro, and we we don't really have outro, do we?
I add on to the outro.
I mean, if you don't, hold on, I'll just drop it into that folder I sent earlier. It's no big deal.
To keep theme, I just start the intro music and I bring it the same music as the outros.
I'm like, what? Wait, which one is it?
The Riddle Master instrumentals.
Which version did I send you?
I think that was like 30. Recently sent me a remixed one. Let me go through and see if I can pull that up really quick.
So this is a fun little because I don't know how other people do like their work.
Because you're finally getting the vocals dropped on it.
Yes. Depending on when I send it to you, I know I didn't send it with the vocals, but I probably have mine, Jeff's, and Zilla Persona's. I'm waiting for Vincent L or EL. I'm not sure how they actually say their artist name. And I'm waiting for my homeboy Bernie, actually from the band Undone, the Cincinnati-based band Undone, to come over and do this smoking solo. Little story on that one. So I'm primarily a rhythm guitarist because, of course, I play and I sing or rap at the same time. So rhythm is like where I'm at. This asshole was like, nah, I'm not going to do a solo for you unless you also do a solo on the same track. And he was like, you have to do an outro solo. And I was like, Bernie, dude, I can't solo. Like, I can kind of like fake it, but I can't like do a solo. So he records, like, he sends me this video of him playing. And I'm sitting here just watching it like, you've got to be fucking kidding me, bro. The way his fingers move, I'll never be able to have my fingers move like that. Yes, ladies, I'm talking about like that. I'll never be able to have my fingers move like that ever in life, period. And he goes, yeah, so you solo immediately after me. And I'm just like, yeah, let me put my like little anemic ass solo on the end of this. Thank God vocals are going to be over top of it because no one wants to hear my shitty ass playing. So I'm waiting for him to come over and actually like lay that smoke and solo down so I can just delete mine and then just like copy and paste his twice. Just act like yeah. And like do a reverse and be like, yeah, I just played his solo backwards. Like, no big deal.
What? I mean, big deal.
No big deal. You know, I just played it backwards. No big no, I don't know which one.
I mean, you can say it's no big deal, but it's kind of a big deal.
I honestly don't know if I sent you guys that version though, but I kind of do want to like just drop it into that folder that I sent you guys earlier. Yo, check that. So the Riddle Master, we are now up to version 21. So the biggest song that I've actually ever had is called The Fate of the World. We got up to version 70 something, I think. That's the one that's 12 minutes long. So like at a certain point the instrumental was done like by version 22, 23. Every version after that was literally adding vocals or having my friend Twill Distilled do like her opera parts and me adding those, and then having the brass band Missing Number do the brass section that I wrote and adding that into the track. So
yeah,
it was
I missed the ska section.
See, my friend, the fifth sister, fucking posted that. She said, "You're gonna section," and I wanted to be like, "I already had it. What's good?" Like, I've already added the ska section into my songs previously. What's up? The only thing she got me on was the Tibetan monks. I haven't had the Tibetan monks yet. I've had other monks, but not Tibetan monks.
Well, just for reference sake, basically it was Alpha saying, I'm going to go through and do something a lot more simpler next time. And the fifth sister goes on, like, so after the Tibetan monks, he lists everything, and ska section.
And the 42 vocalists, and and then my friend Robo Rob had to take it one step further, and he was like, what'd he say? That I said, hey, I just sent you the new mix down. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. What the fuck, dude? 45 vocalists, 75 tracks, 9 planets. And I was just like, how'd the 9 planets actually get into the equation?
Hey, if you don't accept Pluto, you don't deserve Pluto, all right?
Just like, are we, for the planets, are they just like, we're just kind of listening to their vibrational frequency? Because fun fact, I accidentally downloaded NASA's Sun Sounds like years ago when they put those on SoundCloud, and those are in some of my songs. Like for real.
Real for real?
For real. All right, hold on. You guys have to grab this. I'm literally putting the new Riddle Master in there. You guys have to send this to somebody else for promotional use on a stream, so I don't want them to actually get that. Is that bad? Is that like,
I don't know.
Like, is that terrible? Oh, all right. So it's uploading. I don't know if it'll be over there soon. Actually, no, it won't. I had to pause my Google Drive upload. I'm uploading like 20 gigs worth of album covers and other art stuff because I'm gonna start just giving people access to all of the art stuff that I have. To use however they want, you know, for fun.
Well, for reasons. Cross-promotional reasons.
Cross-promotional. Oh yeah, and I need like a logo of y'all's so I can put it on my Patreon. Like, hey guys, go subscribe to this podcast.
We would appreciate that. Shameless self-promotion.
I fucking love it.
Our logo was provided by listener Ilea, who is a friend of mine who is also a graphic designer. I said, make a thing and it's pretty. And she did a thing. And I threw money at her because she earned it. Pay your people.
Pay your fucking people.
Yeah, when we did the original episode for Vicarious Identity, one of the big major themes of the episode was basically pay your fucking people.
Yeah, I could go off about things I've heard about hire a photographer. I do some pinup modeling and some other stuff that was in the Vicarious Identity episode I was interviewed for, and just talking to photographers who do this for a living, like high-end photographer. I've shot with Dark. I've used makeup and stylists that are in-house. They are both amazing, talented artists in their own. On-call makeup and artistry, I tag them all the time in shit when they do shit for me. So I credit people. I credit my photographer. I credit my wardrobe if somebody has made a specific piece and I use it in the shoot. I credit my artisans. I credit my hair. I credit my makeup. And I tip them in a meaningful way. Tip your stylist. Tip your makeup artist.
Give them that money.
Give them money. Because especially in a studio setting for like photography, most of that money is going to overhead.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to keeping the lights on and putting heat in the building and buying stuff for wardrobe and keeping the photographer in camera and the makeup artist in hairspray and whatever witch potions she uses. Trust that Kat Arnold does incredible things with hair. I don't know how she does it. It's sorcery as far as I'm concerned. It keeps the makeup artist in their supplies. They don't have a lot at the end of the day out of what you've booked for because, they got to pay their lease out of that money.
Right.
And their utilities. So throw them a 20 each minimum.
Throw them 20,000 each minimum.
I mean, what you got. Don't be like, here's $1 or here's $5 or not tip them at all. Don't be rude. And don't forget artisans of every description, whether it's nerdcore. If Alpha Riff is performing and there's a hat down, throw a couple bucks in the hat on top of buying a CD.
Oh my God, thank you. I need to go across the street and get Wendy's.
No, we don't buy Wendy's anymore. They keep donating to they've donated to shitty things like Trump, and they won't pay their farm workers.
Wait,
Wendy's, all their tomatoes.
Wait,
Wendy's is bad now. Wendy's is bad now. I'm sorry, no more Frosties. This hurts me as an Ohioan because pretty sure Dave Thomas would lose his shit about not treating the little people.
I mean, Wendy's has basically been dead to me since Spicy Nuggets disappeared, so everything else is whatever. I don't even want to talk about it.
Says the guy that used DoorDash for the biggie bag.
Okay, now. Okay, so
I am not going to judge food accessibility. Were you drunk or high at the time?
No, I was at work and I was starving and did not. Okay. Well, here's the funny part. So the day I did that, I posted up, it is cheaper to buy Wendy's on DoorDash right now than it is at the restaurant. And people kept going, fucking how, blah, blah, blah. And like, I didn't have time to respond. The how was because
Wendy's was doing this thing with DoorDash that if you use the promotion Biggie Bag, you basically got a free $5 bag of their Biggie Bag.
Yep. And so like
you just had basically pay for delivery.
Yeah, the delivery ended up being like, it was super cheap for me because I think even that day they were doing 99-cent delivery instead of like the $2.99 or something like that. So it ended up coming out to being just like $5 even. And I was like, huh, okay. Even after like, because I provided a tip and everything. So I was just like, it's literally cheaper to order this shit on DoorDash right now than to actually go to the store. So that's your answer, motherfuckers.
I mean, that's fair.
But now I can't eat at Wendy's, and I used to like what they're not getting my money.
Well, I mean, them and like a bunch of people shouldn't anyway. Like, I try whenever I do order food like that, I try to order like more mom and pop stuff. But
Yeah, support your mom and pop shit, especially if it's good.
Mhm.
You know, I like supporting my mom and pop shit, and I do when I can. However, like I work in downtown Boston, and as much as I do support the mom and pop shit, sometimes the non-mom and pop shit is just out faster because they got their process down to get it out faster. So I'll go into Five Guys on occasion, or to be quite honest, nine times out of 10 when I'm eating at work, I'm going down to 7-Eleven. I'm just getting taquitos from the griller.
Why are you not dead?
No,
Nobody eats taquitos
That's the
from
secret.
the 7-Eleven.
He is taquitos. See?
Just a stack of taquitos,
Stack of taquitos.
that were left so long on the roller that they've become sentient.
They grabbed a fucking
Okay.
trench coat and just they
Walked
kept
on
going.
out. That's fair. That's fine. That's fair.
I will go down. The 7-Eleven is literally right at the bottom floor of my work, so I just go down from my office down to the 4th floor. I go in. I get 4 taquitos, and by the time I'm done leaving 7-Eleven and back to my desk, the taquitos are gone.
Damn, bro.
Because some people go to take smoke breaks. If I don't want to go up to my office right away, I'll have a taquito break, and I'll get some taquitos, and I'll go into Smokers Alley, talk with the smokers while eating taquitos, where the smokers are like, and they say that this is killing us. How is that not killing you?
And you're like, that's my secret because I am made of this. Just refueling myself.
See, I think that's come to the point that, and I'm fat, I'm overweight. I know that things are killing me. However, it's like when I go to the doctor and they check everything: blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, everything that's supposed to be killing you, and they're expecting to get all these off the chart things and everything like that, and saying that I'm gonna die. Everything comes back normal, and they're like, "What the fuck? You're just fat." And I'm like, I know. And the reason I come to the doctor to check on things to make sure is it still that I'm just fat, or is there something else wrong? It's one of those things like, yeah, honestly, as much as I used to eat Wendy's now because of this, I'm not going to. I'm going to stick with, unless something happens with Five Guys, I'll stick with Five Guys for now, I guess. And I'm going to have to get a quick fast food.
Little Five Guys. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'll eat.
Tip your DoorDash people too. If somebody is bringing food to your house, give them money.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Usually when I go through it, if there's a restaurant that's giving a discount for like the food that I'm going to get, not only do I leave a tip, I usually get what that discount would have been, and I use that as in addition to that. So it's like, it's not going to the restaurant since they're doing it off. I'm just going to give it to the driver.
This is all good shit. This is all how we build each other up.
I don't want to be... look, if I wanted to go to... I have Anna's Taqueria, 2.5 blocks from me, that makes great burritos. But if my lazy ass wants to order from Anna's and has someone go and drive, you bet your ass I'm going to tip the pig, because it's like, look, my ass is lazy. I could have walked and waited in line and gotten my own damn burrito, but I didn't.
It's all the way over there. Do you know how many times I have sat at home, like, not completely in my pajamas because I ran out of energy halfway getting into them, and thought, where the fuck is food? And why do I have to? How to food and why? Because it's just so much energy.
Where the fuck is food?
Exactly.
Well, food is currently not here. Food is
Food is not here.
Food is now.
How do I make? Yeah. How do I make food here?
Because food being here is important. So, it's...
We didn't cover the you live near Covington Catholic and they're racist as fuck.
Oh yeah, I live near
Where did that
Covington
get
Catholic, and they're racist as fuck. Fuck them. No, like I know I was going last time I went the fuck off about this. It boils down to this. My neighbor has Confederate flags that he just displays proudly, and he did not display them proudly until the first day that he saw me actually come out, because I was living here for like 2 months before I saw him. When I came out of my house and I said hello, and then all of a sudden Confederate flags appeared. That's all you need to know about this entire area. It works the same way. There you go. My landlord is amazing though, so like big ups to him. Otherwise I'd have been like, fuck this place, I'm out. But he's absolutely amazing. I love the dude to death. I literally refer everybody to him whenever anybody's looking for stuff. I'm like, yo, do you got something available? Because I got a friend. So he's amazing. But everybody else around here, fuck him.
Recently, I shared this. You brought up the fact about a tweet from the artist Nathan Pyle.
Yes.
Nathan Pyle is the man that does those Strange Planet cartoons, basically taking things in everyday life as if aliens were dealing with them. And most of them are cutesy and fun and things like that. 2 years ago, he basically did a pro March for Life post, which set him up which everybody's like, oh, can't share his work now because he's anti-choice. Did you know that he recently actually made a response about that?
No, when did he do that?
That was today at 11:35 a.m.
Okay, what did he say?
My wife Taylor and I have private beliefs as they pertain to our Christian faith. We also believe separation of church and state is crucial to our nation flourishing. Our votes go toward the Democratic Party. Additionally, we are troubled by what the Republican Party has become and do not want to be associated with it. So the way that I read that now, this is my interpretation. It's like,
okay, give us the white man's interpretation of this bullshit.
The white man, this white man's interpretation of this bullshit is, I might not agree with what you do, but it's okay for you to do it, and that was 2 years ago, and I'm just keeping my trap shut, and that's it. However, I have no beef with anything else. But I'm covering my ass.
Yes, there you go. But I'm covering my ass. That's 99% of why he came out and made this post, because everybody's like, what? Because I don't want to consume his media anymore or make sure he gets any money.
Yep.
Because he opens with, we have private beliefs as they pertain to our Christian faith. We also, that says we support, our stance on this has not changed. Our stance on pro-forced birth has not changed. We also believe separation of church and state is crucial to our nation flourishing. We want to continue to have the right to push our version of Christianity. Our votes go toward the Democratic Party. That doesn't mean shit. I can say that. I can say I voted Libertarian. That's not what I did. Additionally, we are troubled by what the Republican Party has become and do not want to be associated with it. Can be translated with, we're here for the pro-forced birth, but not the racism.
Bingo.
He doesn't denounce he doesn't denounce the tweet. It is all boilerplate, backpedaling, I'm not that person anymore. Please keep liking me.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing of what he says is a refutation of his original position and support of March for Life. So no, I'm still gonna hate your what were once adorable alien comics.
Yeah.
Piggybacking
off of when I read that because I had people who came in and came to his defense on the status that I made. And so what I said in that status was essentially this: if you are somebody who at the end of the day supports any movement that decides that their entire basis of movement is, we're going to take away a segment of people's rights to actually do and say what they want with their own body. That doesn't mean that you don't have to physically prevent somebody from going into a clinic or seeing a doctor for you to be part of that movement. You literally just buying a bumper sticker you sharing these thoughts so that somebody else then can turn around, and when the polls open, they do a vote, even if you didn't vote that way. These are all things that lead to that. And so you are still part of that. And whenever I hear people say, well, I'm pro-life, I'm thinking, well, if you're pro-life, did your ass go and try to get kids out of the custody of ICE? What was your stance on refugees? What's your stance on immigration? What's your stance on the fact that there's more houses in this fucking country that are empty than any homeless person by themselves could fill ever? What's your stance on any of this shit? Because if your stance is, well, that's not my problem, then you know what? You are literally just a piece of shit. Like, period. If you're pro-life, you should be for all of these things being remedied. It shouldn't be in the womb. That shouldn't be where like your thoughts are, because you have no idea what the circumstances are that leads to a pregnancy, and the circumstances of somebody saying, I don't want to be fucking pregnant. You know that people get pregnant even when they use protection. So even when you use these forms of things that are supposed to make us not get pregnant, why should you still have to carry anything to term? It don't make fucking sense to me. And people can change their minds too. Look, I'm pro-choice, but if I were to have a child, I'd be like, hey, I'm down for actually having a child. If the person who has the actual uterus doesn't want to have a child, I'd be like, you do what you got to do. I'm here for you if you want to do it. If you don't want to do it, that's what it is. But that's me. Like, if I had a uterus, I wouldn't fucking abort it. But that's me. I don't care what anybody else does. You have to do what's right for you. But if you're sitting here and you have a tweet that literally references March for Life, which is a fucking organization that literally backs every legislation that wants to criminalize abortions, fuck you. I don't care who the hell you were supporting. You literally took a screenshot of your girlfriend at the time, who, if you read the entire screenshot, it's boilerplate. I'm now here because somebody didn't abort me, and if you had an shit human being, and you put that, and then you said, this is what March for Life means for me. And I'm just like, bro, I don't have to have somebody call me the fucking hard RN word to know that somebody is racist when they're saying certain shit or they're doing certain shit. I know that you are a piece of shit based on this, and based on this supposed explanation that you had. This is the most non-explanation I've ever heard. When I read that, what I read is, well, I'm not hanging Negroes from trees, but if they wanted to try to integrate schools, well, I'm not gonna stand out there and like protest it. But when funding comes up for that certain school, I'm gonna vote against that funding. That's what your private Christian fucking beliefs line is. It's that. Plain and simple. Dog, I've seen this fucking movie before. You ain't writing a new script. That's all I gotta say.
I got nothing.
Fuck.
Because that was the perfect companion to, what drives me crazy about pro-life. They don't care about brown babies. They don't care about children who are hungry. They don't care about parents who are risking their lives to bring their children somewhere safe, or are in desperation turning their children over to strangers to smuggle them into another country. P.S. This is where we get child trafficking. Is because people are taken advantage of because all they want is their child to be safe and to live. They don't care about that. They don't care about state laws. Ohio just confirmed today that you have to be 18 to get married, or 17 with a whole bunch of legal rules. It's 2019! Why do we have to make these laws? You can't be pro-life and anti-abortion. You just can't.
Don't make no sense at all.
Abortions save lives. And every hardcore anti-abortion person I have crossed swords with verbally has said, what do you mean it saves lives? My life, mine, the woman getting the abortion. Or, in the case of a non-viable pregnancy, it's the merciful option for a child that is going to live only a few hours or a few days in pain and in a box full of tubes.
Oh, but Noelle, Think about all the little pictures and the captions you can make and put on Facebook and make it seem like you're such a good person. Anybody who does that, you're fucking sick.
Fuck. Yeah.
Shit just pisses me off, man. Like,
I can't.
So I went to his Twitter and I read it and I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, dog, that is literally the biggest explanation of anything. I love how literally listing out two political parties that are basically the same somehow makes it okay. Because somebody kept mentioning, oh, well, he supports Black Lives Matter. Okay.
Does he?
I don't know how he votes. I can say that I support something and then literally never to make it happen, never go to rallies, never talk about it when it could come up in casual conversation, never push it when somebody is pushing back. That don't mean shit. So yeah, that's the biggest non-explanation I've ever seen in my life. I'm just like, yeah, no thanks. I will continue not sharing any of his stuff. I wasn't a patron member before, and I definitely fucking won't be one now.
Yeah.
His Patreon level dropped after that.
That's why he tweeted.
Yep.
That's why he did it.
Yep.
He was like, but my wallet. And good. The less money you have, asshole, the less money you can give to organizations that want me dead.
Yep. That's the one thing about something like being an independent, someone that works for yourself and things of that nature. You have to make sure that you are in the right in regards to how you treat people.
Captain, we have arrived safely.
Computer, what is this place?
It appears to be your past's present future.
What? What does that even mean?
Time machine to the future and back again. It's the plan for this lonely captain. Hold up with no human robo companions. Crash land on that planet with ocean sand and simians. On the menu, a solitary preview of this epic. Going live, a future so septic. I've seen the battle of my outcomes. Or is that the outcome of my battles? Shit. It's hard to figure which ones to straddle. To pinpoint accurately for the blog. So addled. Gallifreyan, forced to live through these millennia bells. I'm lean and square and fair, but it's no rainbow shell. Reptilian planet like mixed human plight. Those magical kingdoms taking flight. Black oceans as deep as a lavender heart. Used for parts when there's nothing else to get the ship to start. Fuck. Distress. Flightless. The edge of universal extremes, my dearest.
And left me staring into the time vortex on those lonely nights. You've got me bluer than Doc Manhattan. Your voice stings like satin, and your words hit me like a space kraken. I break space and time to have you back. Tell Einstein to shove it, make science fiction a science fact. I'm questioning Shakespeare since your phone call. Is it better to have loved and lost than never have loved at all? There's the rub, there's the paradox. If I go back to before we ever met, would I still have all these tortured thoughts? Do I H.G. Wells it? Fast forward past the pain. Maybe I'll pull a Rip Hunter and just bounce to another plane. I'm not heartless, and I'm no Jack Hart, 'cause I've got no means of travel, be it portal or TARDIS. This time bomb's about to blow, it's coming down to the wire. Just wish you were my River Song and not my Rose Tyler.
Distress. Flightless. The edge of universal extremes, my dearest.
This goes back to the cult thing.
Oh, are we calling all the way back to shit that Alpha didn't hear?
What?
Yeah, I was getting ready to just say, was that before he came on or after?
Yeah, my ranting about how cult behavior or cult creation behavior is the same whether you're an incel, a multi-level marketing drone, or a member of the Manson family,
or the
no longer with us because you took Hail Bop off this fucking rock.
But yeah, basically, it's one of those things where you have a choice. You can either have people be good to people, period, across the board, or lose money. Those are your options. Unfortunately, though, hate to say it, is that there are too many people that are scratching at every single dollar that they earn, that they can't help everything that is good.
Right.
And unfortunately, there is so many that are the mind-wash masses that still support with their dollars things that are bad.
Chick-fil-A.
Every single time I read an article that is like, if you support gay rights, you have to stop eating at Chick-fil-A. And my thought pattern is, and all people I know that are like, but Chick-fil-A is so good. It's like, yes, well, some people that smoke crack say crack is good, but they drop the habit.
Crack is indeed good. That was you with fucking cocaine. Like, let me just use cocaine.
No, don't use cocaine.
No,
No, Bill.
No.
Cocaine is bad.
Try cocaine. Not actively use. My only coke habit is Coca-Cola.
I mean, they took the Coke out of that, so that definitely does not count.
Yeah, but they loaded up with extra caffeine, so that balances things out.
Sort of.
For me, anyway.
What matters even more, don't eat Chick-fil-A and don't shop at Hobby Lobby, because Hobby Lobby steals shit from on the black market. Hobby Lobby steals artifacts and is anti-abortion and horrible. Chick-fil-A, ditto. They're horrible. Although I don't know about the artifact stealing. I'm assuming they're crazy.
They might, they might do that shit.
They might be buying black market Holy Land artifacts, and fuck them. Double hard. Don't steal shit from people.
Killmonger was right.
Killmonger was fucking right. That's stealing people's shit and putting it in your goddamn museum back in your country because it's, quote, safer there, wouldn't be a thing if you hadn't gone and fucked shit up to begin with.
Well, I mean, these warlords, you mean the ones that you literally gave guns to and said, hey, if you kill the rest of these people and let us go in there, we'll back you. And then as soon as you got out, you were like, damn, what the fuck? How'd that happen? Became Wong in Infinity War talking about, damn, y'all fighting Thanos? Y'all be safe now, and went back to the sanctuary. Like, dude, if the whole universe disappears, no one cares about your little stupid ass house. Come on now.
No, he's got to protect terrifying amounts of knowledge. Some shit.
Yeah, well,
I mean, one page almost fucked the everything in that.
I'm just saying, if Thanos snapped and his ass was picked, no one was protecting that. So, what's good?
I mean, that's fair. However, my point about big corporations comes down to this. If you are an individual content creator, which Bill was talking about, we don't have time to support the good stuff because we're all poor.
Sigh. Cry.
Sad.
See, it's
sad
like,
for us, sad for you, sad for everybody.
and it's like as soon as I have, every time I go through and that's the thing about the poor, when we do have money and we can go to and support things, we do it. Most of the time, if you go through and read, there's been studies done about people that from charities, about where their charity money they get their money from charities from. They don't get it from big spenders and big corporations. They get it from a whole bunch of people that are scraping by each dollar that they have, but still have time to go through and donate to causes because they know it's the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go through and support as many small things as I can go through, either in any way I can. And unfortunately, sometimes, it is things like exposure like this. However, I'm not going to expect people to do things for exposure. At the same time, any major projects that I think about in regards to that I know that's going to take hours and hours on man hours. I don't even do because I'm like, look, I know that this is going to take time. I'm not going to ask somebody to do it for free. I'm going to have to go through and get quotes for prices and things like that. I have a great idea for a webcomic. I tried doing webcomic once. My drawing for comics sucks. And it's not one of those things that suck that you'll get better at. I don't have the time to keep at it with everything going on. So while I might be able to write out a script for something and actually like storyboard out the script, so to speak, I have to hire an artist. And that artist needs money to put food in their bellies, keep a roof over their head, keep their electricity running, because they're going to have to scan the shit to go through and get everything done, so they need to be able to survive. If I can't go through and help them with a form of income, I can't do that. However, if I know I'm going to get a long use out of something, for example, graphics for the podcast. We paid for the graphics of the podcast because we know that we'll get.
We're not assholes.
We know that we'll get long use out of that. I'm still trying to figure out the wording for description wise. So for my other podcasts, I could get another type of. It's going to probably have to be like a hand drawn comic graphic type thing. I have ideas for that will need to get done for that. But I know it's one of those things like, here, I need a quote. This is what I want for done. I like your work. Give me a quote so I know how much I have to save so I can go to you. Not try to find a cheaper price elsewhere because I like your work. I want you to continue to flourish. So I go through and look into those aspects.
Racist shitheads do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is my point. Oh, he made this tweet. He's okay now. No. What you say is who you are. And 2 years is not a long enough time. And especially on the heels of plummeting Patreon subscriptions, your words are suspect. Is it how you feel, or is it because you feel a pinch?
Yep.
Just like we can't eat at Chick-fil-A anymore, or Wendy's, or anywhere, fun, where there's grease and delight.
I will,
because they're all horrible abusers of people, and we shouldn't eat.
I will admit
where there is blood in our food.
I will admit, when we were talking about bad places and where not to go, I did go through and check for Long John Silver's, see if they had any major controversy going. And unfortunately, the only controversy, according to Wikipedia, is in July 2013, the Center for Science and Public Interest, a nutrition and health policy watchdog group, named Long John Silver's Big Catch meal the worst restaurant meal in America, noting that it contained 33 grams of trans fat, 19 grams of saturated fat, 1,320 calories, and almost 3,700 milligrams of sodium.
Okay, I'm still just going to drink the malt vinegar.
I mean, but you can make your own, and it would be so much healthier for you.
And you could bottle it and have Digital Champion's malt vinegar.
Fun fact, actually, my roommate stole the malt vinegar bottle from the Long John Silver's one.
Why would you do that?
Because they didn't give enough packets and they weren't going to give any more out. So she literally just went in and just grabbed it and then walked out with it.
I mean, what are they going to do?
Nothing. I mean, it's not even full like bottles of malt vinegar anyway. So whatever.
See, Five Guys is a little bit smart about that because they have malt vinegar for their fries and things like that. But they have it like one of those ketchup pumps, so you can't just go through and grab the malt vinegar.
That's what you.
No, they have it in giant tubs, and you could, if you were determined, take the whole tub.
Trust me, I'm determined.
Or again, you could make it by the gallon yourself.
Yeah, we'll see.
And not
we'll see.
steal it. It's not happening.
So
I know that.
So I'm going to add a poll at the end of this podcast, so people can vote for it. Should there be Digital Champions malt vinegar?
Yes.
And if there is a positive reaction to the poll, you could consider this for future product placement.
I fucking love it. Yeah, add that. Also, let them know, when does this go up?
This will go out Sunday, Saturday on Patreon.
Shamelessly plug your shit and everybody else's shit that you love.
Okay.
Plug everybody in the project.
All right. Holy shit, that's a whole lot of plugging. There's been like 70 something people involved at this point.
I mean, do you need to warm up before you go deep like that?
I mean, sometimes you do. Sometimes you do. So for me, like I said, the name is Alpha Riff, and that's not Alpha Rift. Okay. It's RIFF. Okay. You can find me basically everywhere, but my home base now is patreon.com/alphariff. I'm on Facebook. Just look up Alpha Riff. You'll find my page, but you'll also probably find my personal profile. Personal profile is 100% open, and I accept all friend requests. So just go ahead and do it because you want to. Let me see. I'm on Instagram. On Instagram, it's Alpha Riff Music. On Twitter, it's just at Alpha Riff. On Discord, you know what? I don't know how Discord works. It's whatever. Don't follow me on Discord. Just come to this channel and you'll find me here. I pop in every now and again and I go, what's going on? Okay, I'm going back to work. But I do that with everything because I'm clearing notifications. Let me see. What else am I on? On Snapchat, it's alpha_riff. Yeah, follow me on there because that shit's just ridiculous. It don't make no sense.
And that's why we're not on Snapchat.
For everybody that I work with, my pixel art is my homeboy Daniel Hill of Danji's Designs. Go check out his stuff. He actually has done stuff for some major players. The one that comes to mind is actually Megaran, who just did a song at Madison Square Garden for the Ring of Honor, and is friends with Xavier Woods. So if you are a wrestling fan and all that, you've seen Megaran like in the ring every now and again, or like behind the scenes and stuff.
This is the whole thing about the New Day. What Warren's talking about is one of the members of the New Day.
What? Oh yeah. Sorry.
Xavier Woods.
I was like, wait, what?
It's the big thing for us with the non-toxic masculinity, and you missed that rant, which will be on the Patreon. Basically pointing out that since Kofi Kingston won the WWE title, wrestling fans are like, oh, the New Day must break up now over jealousy over the title. No, they don't.
I know this is kind of like a weird like add-in, but if you don't see them as like just people, they literally are three best friends.
Yep.
They always have been. And if there was any quote unquote breaking up, it's literally kayfabe. Like it's literally just scripted. It's not anything real. Like it's just for fun or whatever. It's just to kind of like do a weird story thing. But that would be actually one of the worst things that they could do, because his winning this title and then just the three of them like showing the celebration and the love of like pumping up their own homeboy. Like we need that as guys, and we need to see that that's okay. And we need to definitely see that as black men, especially because we're always portrayed as not doing that.
That's why I'm like pointing out, like, look, what you're basically saying is pretty much racist, because you're basically saying, oh, just because a black man has something, the other black men have to be pissed and fight him over it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it don't work that way, but, keep thinking it does. Good job. That's why Nipsey Hussle was killed. Good job, guys. Let me see.
Just from a sports fan perspective, this whole, I like sports, deal with it. I like sports and I have tits. It's fine. Your masculinity is not threatened, I promise. What? And if it is, fuck you.
Like, what? If people don't know, the only sport that I actually do like is wrestling. So what's up? And I don't have I don't have tits. Well, I mean, I kind of do because I'm just fat, but it is what it is. What's good?
Yeah. The idea that this genre of entertainment I don't understand. I don't follow wrestling. But there has to be this jealousy because one guy has a title and others don't have a title. And did LeBron stop talking to his friends?
That's what people think. That's
Did he?
that is the mentality that people have. It's like, nah, I'm not with it. I'm not with it. Like that's old, and I'm tired of like that narrative of if one person has something, especially if he has like testosterone and identifies as masculine leaning, like you have to suddenly want to be the alpha and the beta and blah blah blah, which is hilarious coming from a dude whose name is Alpha Riff, which funny enough is just the phonetic spelling of my old internet handle. So it never was this before. But like that whole idea, like you don't need that. You can literally celebrate somebody's accomplishments and they can celebrate your fucking accomplishments, and you both are good in what you do. You don't have to be the best at everything, and you can celebrate other people being the best at whatever they do, even if it's the same fucking industry you are in. So get over that shit. It's old. That story is old. We're done. Write us a new story. Fuck you.
Yes. Yes. What blows my mind from my perspective as a woman-shaped human interacts in women's spaces. We can all be drunk in the bathroom and love each other. Like it's just your hair and your outfit and this is great and oh that's a cool thing and you know we're just all excited about everything.
Mm-hmm.
At the dive bar on goth night. I swear to God, some of these people cut each other in the street over some stupid bullshit.
But no fucking
We can build each other up, but the minute we let marketing get involved and we let other people tell us what our stories are, we'll tear each other apart. And it's mind-blowing that people can hold these two things in their heads. I guess it's that I follow a diverse media. It's that pick me.
Ah, yes.
The pick me attitude.
Yes. Good old pick me's.
I'm not like other girls. Yes, you are.
Like, shut the fuck up. Just get on with it.
Eh.
Like, we don't care. And you're not interesting anyway, so go do something else and bring on the interesting people. I'm such an asshole.
I mean, you are into your asshole right now, but it's a good asshole. A benevolent asshole.
I just want
You're
people
only
to
an
love
asshole
each
to
other.
shit that deserves it. Yeah. It's not a hard thing. The love. It actually takes less energy
Oh my god, so much less.
to be compassionate to people than it does to actively be horrible. I know. I'm lazy, but I also hate everybody. It's just easier to meet them with compassion first and determine whether or not it's worth exerting the energy to dislike.
Bingo. Bing fucking go. Who? Shout it out. Daniel. Oh, Lex Lingo is doing the covers for both Digital Champions The Architect and Digital Champions The Angel. So we got that. On the project, I have my homeboy Zilla Persona, who always knocks it out of the park. 2-Ton 21, who always fucking destroys it. I literally, after I heard his vocals the first time, I was like, yo, when I write stuff, like, you're just gonna sing it for me. Even though I can sing, like, I'm just gonna have you sing it, bro, because I'm not singing it. I'm not singing no more. So I got him on the project. I got the Fifth Sister on the project. Check out all her shit. It's so fucking good. Who else do I have on this project? MZ, of course, but she's always like on every project. She's my roommate, my best friend. She sometimes writes her own stuff, but I end up doing like a lot of writing for her. But I'm trying to convince her to actually go live and play piano because she knows how to play piano super fucking well. Trying to get her to go live with me, so we'll see if that works. If not, I'll figure something out. I don't know. I have no idea. I guess I'm done.
Well, if you're done, then I guess we're also done.
And we can be done.
Yep, because we do not know how to end these things.
We don't. We talk forever. We don't have an out. We don't have an end. to things.
So we just kind of like awkwardly exit. So before we awkwardly exit, I just want to say all the stuff for us you can find on our website at www.xchromosomepodcast.com. All of our social media links are there. Our blog there. All of our Patreon stuff is there. All of our donate links are there. Help us so we have more people and continue things like supporting Alpha Riff. Notice it into
Yes.
there.
Yes.
Oh my god, you got it right. It took you 2 goddamn hours.
So, help us continue to do things right, and hopefully it won't take us 2 hours. My name
Like,
is...
subscribe, rate, review, all the good stuff.
Everywhere that you can like, subscribe, rate, review, follow. Just help us out. So, that being said, my name is Bill.
And I'm Noelle.
And we all have an X chromosome. Get out of here.
Bye. Get out.
Bye.
Fuck off. We're done. Okay, Craig, you useless bot, stop recording.
Oh, he's still recording.
You weren't ready for the return. Murk in the depths with the rebirth. Barrel to the dome, but the crow keeps clapping in his eye cast with the reverse. Fuck it all, mama, let me rehearse. In the hearse with the devil with the features. But the preacher got leeches like a preacher with a fever, and I'm feeling like blood is the lead to the precursor.
They ain't gonna like this.
I don't fucking care. The beast is liberated. Your party eviscerated. The whole congregation can fucking suck it. I'll obliterate them. Balls, breathe, fucking release. If you don't get heated, the reason believe. I'm wearing all the shit on my sleeve, but y'all see like y'all testing me. I was just trying to live and save them, but I see how y'all play them and turn ugly. But y'all don't even fucking know me, so fuck it.
The world grows cold. Let the world grow cold. The world grows cold.
He's back.
It's a fucking game. Still I'm up in you, carving my name. Cut you from stomach to shoulder with blade. Crack up your sternum like Christmas today. Then I'ma reach all up in you to play. Take out your heart while you wasting away. Take a bite out of this black and mild shit. That's why you've been dead since the day you was made. Daenerys, got glory, got gods, Daenerys. I don't need 3 fucking dragons, motherfucker. I didn't have it. Waluigi, I'm gon' smash it. I'm your secret, her bad habit. Finish it before Martin crash. I done wrote the book, I done played the game. The thrones of flames, disfigured, fucked up. Still pulling chicks like a child play. Still getting looks like my porn days. Don't give a fuck if y'all like me. You left me dead, not right, see? So watch the world burn from the highest heights. Straight heights. Winter's coming, fuckers. Thought orange skin was building a wall to save you. Then a raw scale with a cover pair with a shout up to lose you. From the Pikachu shit from your face, you knew what you did when I rose from my grave. I'm scared you all would keep you safe. Shit, I'm Xing everybody taking a space.
Bro, they are gonna be mad.
Fuck, but you think you hide? Nah, motherfuckers hearts drop. When I rose back up to take the spot over me, I ain't forgot. Everybody's names on the list. Check it off, I ain't forget. Let me get 16 cards in your skull for 32. I spit, fuck it. Get the deceased tatted on me, fuck it. Season trophies, homie, fuck it. Stacks the plaques since I said fuck it. Armed and ready, fuck it. This ain't a game and my throne's been claimed. Daenerys. 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 Daenerys.
Oh my god, hold on.
Oh my god, what?
Did we switch it to like where you have to hold the button
Oh
down?
shit, dude, are you on push to talk? You can change that shit.
Well, like every time I tried to do the voice detect thing, it was like, this channel is now only push to talk. So I'm like,
I'm
what?
not push to talk. What did you fuck up, Bill?
Let me check what I fucked up. 1 moment.
Yeah, I'm like, hold up, because I can't remember like to hold a button down to do this shit.
You haven't slept, dude. You told me that when we were doing a little show prep. You're like, I haven't
Right?
slept more
Like-
than 2 hours in like 2 days, so you're
Oh
bananas.
my god.
I'm having a
Yeah.
depressive episode.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a great show.
Oh. Yeah, let's do it.
That
All
episode's
right.
gonna be bananas. Did you
Now-
fix it?
Try talking now.
Is it fixed? Oh my god,
Alright,
yes.
We are
Thank
in
you.
Business.
I misread
Oh my
something,
God.
and for the podcaster setting, I accidentally set it so that no, we don't want that. We want the voice activation. I read it wrong.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, because as soon as like I jumped in the channel, it said that, and I went, okay, hold up. And that's why you guys were like, oh, he's ignoring us. And I'm like, no, I don't have a button pushed yet. Like, I don't have it set. I don't even know how to do
It's
it yet.
okay. We're fine.
All right.
It's good. We're okay.